की ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुकुं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna, we welcome you all for today's discussion. I'm going to go ahead and share the presentation. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So today's topic is free upgrade. This is a season we get so many messages, so many newsletters, however we call it, as free upgrades, and everyone is keen for it. Is there anyone here who is not looking for a free upgrade? So you see iPhone 17s on us, you see iPhone 17 Pros on us. So now before you go into your WhatsApp group and start pasting in your groups, hey, come to Farming Tunnels, they are giving you free upgrades. So I'll put a disclaimer here, what is this free upgrade is all about. Recently took my kids to Universal Studio. When I entered, there was a guy, very smilingly he said, do you want an express pass for free? So train my kids that way, nothing comes for free. So they were just walking around, just leave it. There is nothing free. He said, no, this is free. I'm like, really? Okay, tell me, what is free? He said, you buy this credit card and then you get an express pass for free. So I just want to put that disclaimer. When we talk about free upgrade, I want to talk about the upgrade of our consciousness. Why do we have to upgrade our consciousness? Every software you install on your phone or laptop requires an upgrade. Why does it need an upgrade? You get new features, right? You get new benefits. That's why we upgrade. That's why we upgrade phone. Better battery, new features. Same way, the consciousness also needs an upgrade. This is an important aspect in our life. If our body needs upgrade, if our phones needs an upgrade, why not our consciousness needs an upgrade? So before we dwell into this beautiful topic, I wanted to seek blessings of all of you, because what is difference between a material education or material seminar versus coming for these discourses is that it's a collective consciousness. When you all are with me in this journey to actually upgrade that consciousness, I'll be able to provide you a better software and your upgrades will be smooth. So are we all onboarded with the smooth journey of upgrading our consciousness? Haribol, wonderful. So there was actually a conference of Economic Times. They were contemplating the leadership seminar. They were thinking about what are the three big problems in American schools today. This was done a few years back, but a very important concept here. So, what is the first problem in 50 years or 100 years back? I would say 50 years, let's keep it there. What were the three big problems in American schools? Chewing gums under the desk. Second problem is talking in the class. The third problem was, yes, thank you. So you all are with me. Copying. So these were the three problems in American schools 50 years back. And they did the survey of what are the three big problems today in American schools. And this is all studied. I'm not producing any data. This is real. The first problem is physical assaulting of a teacher. Second, teen pregnancy. The third problem, gun shooting in schools. So when we talk about, man, this is AI world today. We are growing, we are progressing. Right? Our civilization is modernized. Our kids sometimes come and tell, Dad, grow up. It's a modern world. You see the problems up and problems down. It's not an upgrade. It's a downgrade. So when we talk about this in the world of AI, so much going on our phones, in our life, what is the problem with AI? We are talking about that thing which has been very important concept. This is again the same conference which they are evaluating. They are saying the world will change in next 5 years, will change perhaps in last 50 to 100 years. You can imagine the impact. In next 5 years, the growth will be as good as 50 to 100 years back we did so far. So like I'm in my 40s, and some of us maybe in 40s, we remember our previous days. Now imagine in today's world, when we had those three problems, what would be the problems happening in next year, which is 50 to 100 years, which we talk about. It's massive. It's massive. I was just attending the Kirtan here, and I had a tough time to focus because the kids were not part of the Kirtan. They were just playing, which is fine, but none of them were singing together. And I realized, wow, this is AI world. How much importance as a parent we have to take care of our kids and give them an upgrade of that consciousness. We are not talking about a religious process to actually follow. It's a die-hard need today. And what does it say? The second point is, therefore, there is a need of spirituality. Why? Because to produce the need of ethics and value, helping us to ground up our consciousness, perhaps the greatest need of the day today. When we get out of our bed every morning, we run. We run because we have to go to job, we have to take care of so many things. Today is the age of being faster. We want to run faster. Whoever runs fast, He beats everyone and he attains whatever other people did not get it. But we see what is the outcome today. In the AI world today, most of the exam papers are generated by AI. The answers are generated by AI, by kids. Imagine if a doctor passes the exam with AI, and then you go to the hospital with the chronic disease, and when you enter there is no physician there, there are robots sitting there. They greet you very nicely, which humans have forgotten today. And before you even say anything, they get all of your records and they say, oh, you have cancer. And then the robots transition your data to another robot, and the doctor is sitting just behind the machine seeing that whether the robot is doing everything properly or not. So now, when we talk about progress, what kind of progress is that? We have forgotten to be a better human in today's AI world. The other day when my daughter was going up, I heard the voice, hi Rasika, how can I help you? And I'm like, Rasika, who's that? She said, Chat GPT. Great. We don't deal with the family members like that, but the Chat GPT treats you even better than how your father or kids do with you. When I went to Florida just a couple of days back, my son said, oh, you know what? This is the world of Messi's. Messi lives there. I'm like, great. Can you call Messi? I'm here. Can he come to meet you? When you are hungry, can you call him? Yeah, Messi, can you get me a burger? But I spend my time hearing about him, reading about him. So today is the world of virtual reality. We have virtual friends and we will have virtual relationships also over the time. One time, there was a person outside his door, it was written, please do not disturb. What is the next point? Yeah, I'm already disturbed enough. I don't need more disturbance here. So, when we talk about upgrade of our consciousness, earlier times the diseases were not as many, the obstacles were not so many, versus they have evolved or multiplied. Seek Advait Pran Prabhu's blessings. He is my role model. So thank you, Prabhu, for blessing me with your presence. So I wanted to cover this topic about how can we free upgrade our consciousness when we are doomed with so many obstacles in our life, whether on a finance front, whether it's on health front, whether it's on relationship front. How do we actually counteract? How do we handle such problems? Is one of the important, they called as what are the upgrades. So that's the most important point I wanted to discuss today. What does consciousness upgrade gives you when the obstacles come? And that's what the point of today. So when we talk about, there was a king. He called all his citizens. He said, give me a gift. What is the gift? He said, give me a gift. Whenever I am sad, when I see that gift, it makes me happy. And whenever I am happy, I see that gift, I remember I am sad. So it brings me, if I'm happy, it makes me sad. If I'm sad, it makes me happy. Any thoughts? What would be that gift look like? One time a lady stood up in a class and she stood up, she said marriage. So if you're sad, you get married, you think you're happy. And when you deal with the problems at home, you realize from happiness it becomes sad. Anyway, so there was a smart guy, of course not AI. He brought a gift, very nicely wrapped, gave it to King. King said, what is this? He said, open the gift. So he opened the gift and there was a ring. And then the citizen said, when you wear that ring, whenever you are happy, you see that, you'll become sad. And when you are sad, you see that ring, you'll become happy. In that ring, there were 4 words written. What is that? The world is exactly like that. Whenever we are facing difficulty, it seems like it's daunting on you, completely covered, like today's Michigan weather. Can't see the sun. When will that sunrise come? But when it is happiness, we feel it will stay for long. But that also passes. And that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the beautiful verse, Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkhada, agamapayino nityas, tam titiksha tvad bharata. Anybody for translation? Any volunteer for translation?
Awesome. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O scion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
We all, thank you, Madhuri, thank you so much. We all have read this Bhagavad Gita sloka. Maybe we understood also, but we lack to apply. Very difficult when you are actually going through different seasons. Like I was just talking to my neighbor. She's born and brought up here for many, many years. And I asked her, she said, I hate winter here. And if you go to Florida, you ask those folks, what do you hate? They said, we hate summers here. So irrelevant of however way you change it, you can't run away from the reality of the life. And this is why Krishna is telling to upgrade your consciousness. What are you upgrading with? You bring your consciousness to that, understand that everything arises from sense perception. And the moment you know that, that same thing will not affect you. There was a teacher who brought a cup of glass in front of students. And she said, how heavy is this cup? She asked this question. So some children said 5 ounce. Another child says 10 ounce. She said, all of you are wrong. The heaviness of glass not depends on how much water is in it. It depends on how long you hold it. The more you hold it, the more it becomes heavier. You see, our Gaurnatai are holding their hands like that. I'll ask you, you try it to keep it for 1 hour. You will not be able to do it. Why they are able to do it? And I want to be very clear. They are not stones or marble, or they are not wood. They are standing right now in front of us and listening to us and maybe laughing at us, whatever it is. Not laughing at us, but laughing with us. Sorry, use the right word. Very important part. So they are holding their hands to teach us to love and to understand the importance of taking shelter. Whether we want in material world or we do not want in material world, we have to raise our hands up. Sometime in front of our kids, sometime in front of our boss, sometimes in front of our wife and husband, and sometime in front of Uncle Sam. I don't want to get into those rules. You understand what I'm talking about. The new rules coming and everything. So, people say that my life is worse than someone else's life. Hey, your problems are smaller than my problem. There was a king. So, when we talk about these glasses, I'll get there first. So, what does this water represent? That water represents difficulty. Water represents obstacles in our life. The more you hold on to it, the more you contemplate on that, they become heavy on you. And you will not be able to think outside the box. And that's an important concept which you are bringing. And what happens with that? You become of victim mentality. You become a victim rather than being the controller of the problem. And that's an important concept to understand when difficulties can come in our life, not to become a victim of those problems. And how do we do that? We are going to cover that. But when the difficulties come, we think our difficulties are the our challenges or our obstacles are the most difficult obstacles compared to other people. So one time there was a king, He was fed up. Again, another king story. Why are we talking about king story? Imagine even at that position. Why are we here? Most of us come here to earn dollars. Why? Because we want to become a king. Now that's why I'm sharing the stories of the kings here. So this is another king here. So this king is so fed up. Everyone comes and complains. This is not going right. This is not going right. So he was fed up and he called his minister. He said, suggest something. And they discussed. They rented a big hall. Of course, not renting. They had their own hall. And they invited everyone, you bring your problems, canvas it nicely and put it on the wall. So everyone came great. Next day, the king arranged an exhibition. You all are welcome, free of cost. Free upgrade, free entry. So come here. So anyway, it's nice, free, I don't have to pay anything. So everyone, the whole village came, all citizens, everybody came there. And they started looking from one painting to another painting. Oh, this guy has H1B problem. I am better, I have a green card. Next guy went, oh, I have my relationship problems. Then moving next problem, oh, I have health issues. So it went on. I just come on student visa. And then this guy changed the rule. Now I don't know, will I get the job? I don't have 100K here. What do I do here? Moves on. As they were about to leave, king stopped them. Hey guys, free entry was there, but not free exit. This material world is a free entry, but it's not free exit. You agree or no? You come free of cost. You don't have to pay anything. Your parents, of course, have to pay. So for you, it's a free entry. And when you exit, you have to pay a full fee. What is that full fee? Going through difficulties in your life, working from day and night, earning that money which you are not going to carry with you, buying a car which your children are going to enjoy, buying a huge house, for you have to pay the mortgage for the entire life. So entire life we just pay for it. So what is an exit fee? King said, you are free. I don't want to continue renting this hall. So take any painting you want from execution free with you. So they started going through all the problems. And guess what? What canvas or what painting did they pick up while leaving? Any points here? Their own painting. Why? I know my problem is somehow dealing with it. Let me continue with this one. So that's how it happened. So that's an important aspect. When we talk about that victim mentality, we become overcome by the problems. And there is this beautiful example of Avanti Brahmana in Srimad Bhagavatam. He says a beautiful verse. Let's recite this together. Nayam jano me sukha dukkha hetur. Na devatatma graha karma kalaha. Mana param karanam amanananti. Samsara chakram parivartayeta. Any volunteer for translation?
The Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. Neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it's the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuate the rotation of material life.
Beautiful. Whenever the problems occur in our life, we run to astrologer. Can you help me, please? Oh yes, your Shani is there. Your astrological chart. What is Avanti Brahman is telling? Neither it is Nayam Jano. What does that mean? These people are not the cause of my happiness or distress. We blame other people. It is because of him. It is because of her I am difficulty. The second says Na Deva, which means it's not the impact of Devatas or demigods. Graha, which is not depending on the astrological chart. Karma, it's not the karma because I am suffering. Not the kala, it's not because of the time. What is the call? What is the cause of that? Manaha. What is that mana? Is my mind is the cause of the problem. Why there is a need of spirituality in today's life? Because it's a need today. We all are suffering through not the problems of body, but more than the problems of the body, we are suffering through the problems of the mind. In that relation, I want to play one video. Oh, I forgot to share that. So let me now open this. And I want to play this video, and hopefully this makes sense. And I'm going to share this here as well. Give me 1 second. Let me unmute this. Where is the play here? You're able to see it, right? It's in Hindi, but there are
नाम बताइए।
subtitles.
अर्जुन महका मैं मर गया हूँ क्या?
जी हाँ, ट्यूसडे 6:43 PM, हार्ट अटैक।
Congratulations.
हाँ भाई साहब, सभी मरते हैं। बस एक छोटा सा फीडबैक फॉर्म भर दीजिए। प्रक्रिया है। हाउ वाज योर स्टे?
Stay? Life?
हाँ, मतलब ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा? 1 से 5 के बीच में रेट कीजिए। 1 मतलब ट्रॉमेटिक और 5 मतलब वुड रिकमेंड टू अदर्स। हाँ, जल्दी जल्दी। एवरेज, बिल्कुल तुम्हारी चॉइसेस की तरह।
सर, लाइफ इतनी आसान नहीं होती है नीचे। चॉइसेस लेने से पहले दूसरों के बारे में सोचना पड़ता है हमें। क्यों?
तुम्हारी रिपीटेड कंप्लेंट्स की लिस्ट आ गई। बॉस टॉक्सिक, सैलरी कम, ट्रैफिक ज्यादा, स्पेस कम, रेंट ज्यादा। बड़े अजीब आदमी हो भाई साहब। पूरी जिंदगी लंबी उम्र की दुआ करते हैं और आधा दिन फोन में बिता देते हैं ताकि टाइम जल्दी बीत जाए। बाकी आधा टाइम तो आप बॉस को कोसते रहते।
अरे तो था ही नहीं चांदनी।
नहीं, तुम्हारे बॉस नहीं, हमारे बॉस, तुम्हारे भगवान।
तो उन्होंने कौन सा अच्छा किया मेरे साथ आज तक? नहीं, आप बताइए। Why do bad things happen to good people?
गुड पीपल, गुड पीपल कौन कौन थे जरा नाम बताइए। हाँ,
I mean generally.
हाँ, सब जनरली अच्छे होते हैं, लेकिन पर्सनली थोड़े कन्वीनियंट हो जाते हैं ना।
सर, ये क्या पॉइंट है सबका? क्या चाहते हो आप मेरे साथ?
देखिए, आपके फीडबैक से तय होगा कि आपको मोक्ष मिलना चाहिए या रिबर्थ। देखिए, ये फॉर्म तय करेगा कि आपको मोक्ष मिलना चाहिए या रिबर्थ।
सर, मोक्ष नहीं चाहिए मुझे बस प्लीज एक बार और वापस भेज दो।
सबको लगता है कि अगला जन्म बेस्ट वर्जन हो, कोई करंट वर्जन को अपडेट करने की कोशिश ही नहीं करता। तुम्हारा बर्थ तुम्हारा चॉइस नहीं था, तुम्हारा डेथ तुम्हारा चॉइस नहीं था। क्या तुम्हारी लाइफ तुम्हारी चॉइस थी?
हाँ, मतलब और किसकी चॉइस होगी सर? क्या बेच का सवाल है?
अभी पता करते। स्कूल,
पेरेंट्स,
कॉलेज,
जितने नंबर आए उसके हिसाब से।
करियर,
जहाँ बाकी सारे दोस्त गए।
ऑब्वियसली। मैरिज,
जिस पे सब राजी थे।
बच्चे,
सही टाइम पे।
घर,
बजट के हिसाब से।
सिटी,
नौकरी के हिसाब से।
खुशी,
जब सब खुश थे।
हॉबी, हॉबी भाई साहब, हॉबी, सपने, ओपिनियन, आइडेंटिटी, टूथपेस्ट, रिंगटोन, चड्डी भाई साहब, चड्डी, प्रिंटेश्वर, एनालिसिस।
सर, लगता है अब बहुत टाइम्स हुए आपने। नीचे सब ऐसे ही जीते हैं।
हर बार सेफ ऑप्शन। ये लाइफ चॉइस की नहीं थी। स्पॉट वेस्टेड, केस
नहीं सर, सर प्लीज एक बार मुझे वापस भेज दो, बस वन लास्ट टाइम।
क्यों?
सर, आफ्टर अ पॉइंट कोई नहीं जीता है, सब सिर्फ सर्वाइव करते हैं। लेकिन मैं जीऊंगा इस बार, आई प्रॉमिस। अपने लिए जीऊंगा, सब कुछ अपनी शर्तों पे करूंगा, किसी और के लिए कुछ नहीं। सारी गलतियां, सारे फैसले मेरे होंगे, आई प्रॉमिस। बस एक बार और भेज दो प्लीज।
तुम्हें ये कैसे पता कि तुम ये पहली बार नहीं बोल? तुम हर जन्म यही कहते हो, नेक्स्ट टाइम आई लिव बाय माई चॉइस, और हर बार भूल जाते हो। सो मिस्टर अर्जुन मेहता, योर मोक्ष इज अप्रूव्ड।
मोक्ष क्या होता है?
मोक्ष में यू आर डिलीटेड।
सर प्लीज।
So coming back to the presentation here, it's a nice, funny video, but it's actually a serious note to all of us. Imagine yourself in the situation of that, not the interviewer, we can't be at that position, but we are being interviewed. Interviewed by a person after our death. And to summarize this video, towards the end, this person said, give me one more lifetime. Can you give me one more lifetime? I'll make sure I'll correct it. You can find out various meanings from this video. This was for a different reason on LinkedIn. But for spiritual perspective, it has a different outcome for all of us. We have ditched God in every lifetime. But say, no, this time I will prove it. I will make sure everything will be all right. And that's why we are stuck in the cycle of birth and death. I was just telling in the class which I was giving just yesterday, in spiritual world, you will not have to work like an ass throughout the day. You will not have relationship problems. You will not have a food problem. You will not have a health problem. But because we want to be away from God, because we want to be God, we want to be the creator, we want to be the proprietor, we want to be the enjoyer, that's why we have to maintain everything. And that's the key which from this video which we are talking about. And that was, I actually already covered the real interview. But what are the obstacles in our life? Very important. The obstacles are not obstacles. Obstacles are our mentality. Coming back to whatever we covered so far, when we saw that glass, when we talked about the water are the difficulties, it's not the water problem, but how long I'm holding is what is becoming heavy. Right? So when we talk about obstacles, and this is the agenda of today's discussion, so when we talk about obstacles, how do we deal with obstacles, or how we currently handle it, that's what we are talking about. We think obstacles will not come. We think if difficulties come, you think, oh, it's somebody else's life, right? Not in my life. Someone else is having health issues, severe health issue. Oh, that won't happen to me. Someone has financial issues. That won't happen to me. There are countries fighting. Oh, that will not happen to the country I'm staying in. And that is a bigger problem. So, as long as you think the obstacles or difficulties will not come, or as long as those obstacles are shock for you, then it will be difficult for you to cross through those. Cross through those. The second one, the problem is that the obstacles are bad. And we will see few examples. And the third one is, the obstacles are unsurmountable. Now Krishna says beautifully in Bhagavad Gita, Dukkheshva anudukve namanaha, Sukheshva vigata sprihaha, Vitaraga bhaya krodha, Sthita dhir muniruchyate. Translation please. Anybody reading translation?
Whose mind remains undisturbed amidst misery, who does not crave for pleasure, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady wisdom.
Don't think the sages are people who are living in forest. You all are sages here. You all are sages here because it's heavy snow outside or whatever snow is happening. You chose to be here. You could be comfortably sitting at home. You could join even on Zoom, but you prefer to come to the temple and watching this. So you all are sages. But now we are talking about a different level of sage, which is called in Bhagavad Gita Sthita Prajna, who is not affected by any of these things. Because those 3 points, he or she is above that. And that is what is being spoken here. Now, if we move to the next slide, we see we have a greatest of all scriptures called as Srimad Bhagavatam. And we will talk about the great souls who are there on the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. If we see Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmaji, Lord Brahma, he is actually the creator of entire cosmic manifestation. Not the house, not the country, not the world, but entire cosmic manifestation. So he has a job, he has a roles and responsibility to create these material worlds or create this material world. So who granted this role? Lord Vishnu himself. You do the creation. Great. Which means you are giving me now, you will provide all the facilities here, right? Okay, I'll give you the facility. So when he starts creating, the first sons are 4 Kumaras. Okay, can you help me populating? Sorry, sir. We have nothing to do with populating. We will renounce. We will go back to the forest. Hey, I needed you for populating this world. Nothing to do left. Second, Rudra comes. And when Rudra comes, he starts whatever has been created, he destroys everything. Are you help me in populating? Can you help me creating? Material world is created. Can you now populate this material world? He destroyed whatever is created. Sometimes it happens, right? You are cooking something and you hand over the responsibility to someone else. Can you take care of that? And rather than the salt, they put the chini in that, or they put the sugar in that. So you prepared the whole dish, just the final outcome is needed, and then someone messes up the whole dish. And that's what happened to Lord Brahma. You see, the example of Prachetas. Their father sent them to lead the nice life. You should do an austerity. When they go to the forest, Narada Muni comes there. What are you doing here? Yeah, my father said to get an admission in Farmington High School. Hey, why you have to go to Farmington High School? I'll give you directly PhD degree. What is that? Direct entrance to spiritual world. Oh, really? Let me do that. They left. Daksha, yeah, I sent you there to do this stuff. Again, he creates 1,000 sons, and again Narada Muni comes and takes them to the celibate path. He is in frustration. We see an example about Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev is not an ordinary person. He is the son of Ganga Devi. He is the student of Parshuram. How much difficulty he went through. So many examples, just to considering the time, I'm just skipping those. So when we talk about the first one, which is the obstacles won't come. The problem is the unrealistic expectation. We think the problems will not come, or the problems which will come will be based on my chart. Oh, I will put down a notebook and I'll give it to Krishna. Krishna, do one thing. I'll give you 10 items. You choose any 3 and assign it to me. Can you say like that? So for an example, I'm a PhD student. I don't have to go to the university. And you write down the point, Krishna, make sure I don't get an admission in the university. But I don't need a university. I already passed PhD. You think I'll cheat Krishna and I'll put that item which is not applicable to me. That's not how it works. You see the examples of Kunti Maharani. The problems she faced throughout her life were not the problems written in her diary. The obstacles are designed in such a way that your upgrade is mandatory. So there are certain upgrades are mandatory. You cannot skip that. And that is what these obstacles are. It needs you to upgrade your consciousness. So rather than a force upgrade consciousness, this discussion is around how can I upgrade my consciousness before I face that challenge. Right? So what you are seeing on the left and on the right hand side is a tennis player called as Ash Arthur. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Arthur Ashe. He was the Wimbledon champion. He got the awards. One time, he faced a health issue. He had some heart disease. So he went to the doctor and he needed a blood transfusion. When he went for the blood transfusion, the doctors messed up. Rather than the blood transfusion, which is supposed to help him, he developed HIV. Can I say, oh, this is not my problem? How do you do that? Sorry, sir, now you are already in. So there were his friends who were actually writing him letters and talking about, oh, you know what, Arthur, why this happened to you and all that stuff. Let me share my screen. I don't know if I'm sharing. I think I'm sharing. Yeah. So Arthur replied to their emails. He was saying, oh, why this happened to you? He's writing that to them. He says, in the world, there are 500 million kids who desire to play tennis. Of these 50 million kids learn how to play. And of those 5 million learn professional tennis. And out of those 5 million, 5,000 may reach for the professional circuit of tennis. And of that, 500 may reach the grand ceremony of coming into the game. And out of that, 50, 2 will reach to final. And of 2, 1 will win Wimbledon. And he said a beautiful line, I won Wimbledon, and while lifting the cup, I didn't ask God, why me? Therefore, now I am in pain. How can I ask God, why me? A very important point to learn from this is, life is a blend of mixtures. Life is a blend of mixture of spices. To make a particular dish first class, there has to be various spices come together. Similar way, good and bad in our life, challenges in our life are those spices which make that dish which you are preparing more authentic, more tastier. And that's the point which is being brought in here. When the earthquake comes, you don't know where they are coming from. Where they are coming from, how long they will be, and what will be their magnitude. Similarly, this life is like earthquakes, or you can call it as life quakes. Sometimes there are relationship issues, sometimes there are financial issues, sometimes there are health issues. And if you are feeling, I have none, only time will tell when they will come. And it's a bitter reality of life. So, this is a very beautiful story which is there. This Hitler was there, he was killing Jewish left and right. So what he was doing, he was actually sending Jewish people to burning fire, the chambers of burning fire. And everyone who would enter before the burning fire, there was a wall, they will draw butterflies there. So one time a police officer asked them, because he was confused, hey, you are going to die, you are going to go into burning chamber. Why are you drawing this butterfly? And this is the response which was told by one of the person who was entering into the burning fire of chambers. He said, person said, we will attain the eternal life, and that gives us courage to go through this pain. My dear friends, I want to be very clear on this aspect. We are not this body. We are the soul. And the soul is currently entrapped in this body of this material body. But there is a world beyond this material world where you don't have to go through obstacles. You never see, you see Krishna holding the flute. Have you seen Krishna sitting like that? Any picture, you search on the Google, have you seen Krishna holding his head? Or he has a toothache and he is holding his tooth. Oh, it's paining. Or he has to wear the glasses to see things. Oh, who is this guy? Let me see. Because I'm becoming old. Or you don't even see Krishna's gopas or Krishna's friends ever wearing glasses. Or they have shoulder pain or they have knee pain, they are not able to walk. Why are we struggling? Why? when there is a world which has to offer something much more sublime, and it's a very easy process. You come here every Sunday, you chant and dance, you get the lunch also. You don't have to wash the dishes. You come here lunch, and it's not like, oh, put the rice and put some lemon on top of it and have that. It's a nice full meal. Why not just commit ourselves to go back there? We don't have to struggle for any time, any moment in our life. That's an important aspect. So, coming back to this important aspect of obstacles are bad. The challenge is that there is an instinctive reaction that obstacles are bad. We think that every challenge we face, oh man, again I have to handle this, that's a problem. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful personality. His name is Chitraketu. And again, another king. We all are here to become a king and queens, right? So we will talk about the king, third king in the story today. And real story. So King Chitraketu was the king of entire earthly planet. On the top of his career. Not a CEO. He is the king of the entire country. And not that he has to change his position every 5 years. So he is a king. Fantastic life. He has very beautiful wives. He has beautiful facilities to enjoy life with whatever we can think about. But he is sad. Why? Because he doesn't have a son. So he requests Angira Muni, can you just give me that one son? Same thing for student. Can you just get me H1B? When H1B, can I just get a green card? Okay, you get a green card. Can I just become a CEO of the company? You become CEO. Everyone listens in my company. Can you make sure my kids listen to me? One after the other, everyone is the part of 99 Club. And I guess everyone knows 99 Club here, is that right? I don't have to spell that, right? Everyone is part of it. Finally, he gets the son. Great. Now in this roller coaster, his life is up. Fantastic. I have son. He can hear that small child speaking in his broken language. Wow, so sweet, so sweet. Life is going again great. Other wives think, oh, now he's giving attention to only one wife. They kill the boy. Now again his roller coaster ride comes up to down. What is this? He was crying, wailing. And same Angira Muni came. He said, I already told you. But you didn't listen. He said, what do I do now? The son wakes up from death. And he speaks to his father. And Chitraketu becomes happy. Wow, I got my son back. He says, who are you? Which father? Then he understands that he practices spiritual life very nicely. And one day he gets a curse from Mother Parvati. He came take the birth of a demon again fall. And gets killed by Indra and finally goes on top. But that's how reality of life is. If you're thinking the obstacles are bad, then you don't have an opportunity to grow. What happens in Chitraketu's life when he is cursed and becoming a demon? He is not thinking, hey, finally I reached there. I was about to enter the spiritual world. But now again I had to take the birth of a demon. He chose that opportunity to still remember Krishna and practice devotional service. And that obstacle became an opportunity for him to go closer to Krishna. When he died, he went back to spiritual world. With spiritual world, you don't have to worry about H1B. You don't have to worry about green cards or any of those things. So that's an important aspect which we see from the example of King Chitraketu. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and I'll just read quickly the translation, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, 17-20. This material world resembles the waves of constantly flowing river. This is the realization of Chitraketu Maharaj. Therefore, what is a curse and what is a favor? What are the heavenly planets and what are the hellish planets? What is actually happiness and what is actually distress? Because the waves flow constantly, none of them has an eternal effect. My dear devotees, one or the other day we went through various difficulties in our life, we crossed through and we forgot about that. But when we were in those difficult times, we were completely overloaded and we did not know what has to be done. But that does not mean the next obstacles are not coming. So, why are we actually suffering? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, why does Krishna do this to me? That question may be asked. Why are we suffering? Is that God who is giving us suffering? Absolutely not. The suffering or difficulties we are going through is because of our attachments. We think I, me and mine. For an example, you get a M5 BMW. You spend 100K or 120K, you get that car. Rishi gets that car. I go and I like the car. And I take the key and draw beautiful butterfly on that. Jai Shri Radha Gopi Sindhu. How would you feel? If it is your car, how would you feel? Completely miserable, is that right? Rishi will also feel. But the question is, are we the car? We are not the car. But why are we suffering when something happens to the car? Because we think this car is mine. And because of that attachment, we face and suffer one after the other lifetime. We just go through this difficulty. Now coming back, another aspect, the life is exactly designed like that. The life is not designed to be like this. The life is designed, the reality is that it's going to go up and down and it will have spiral effect. And the earlier you understand, it makes your life much more easier. I will probably skip this video in consideration of time. This is a devotee, his name is Janakinath Prabhu. He is giving a talk, 15 minutes talk, you're welcome to see that. At the age of 31, he had a stomach ache. He went to the doctor. After various reports, they came to him, told him, "Sir, you have a cancer in your colon, stage 4. Good luck. We can't save you." At the age of 31, and I'm sure most of us, a lot of us are above 31 here. He's a monk, practicing spiritual life. He didn't ask the question, why me? He went to the hospital, he get through treatment, but still there is no cure. It gets more complicated now. And on top of it, he has TB also. What he did, he actually joined the club of all the students or all the people or patients who are suffering through cancer. He would bring them to the temple and then tell them, experience happiness in your last final days. This is what he was doing in his last 2 weeks. This is the difference between a mentality when your expectation is correct that the obstacles will come. So I'm going to skip this one and I move to the next slide. The third one we talked about is the obstacles are unsurmountable. The pains and problems are going to actually give us the purpose and progress. Because nobody introspect when the life is going great. We don't have a time. I just want to enjoy. I'm busy enjoying. I have money, I'll enjoy. But when we go through difficulty, then you start contemplating what I should do. So the question for you is, am I promoting that you should go in difficulty and artificially create it? No. But I am trying to emphasize the importance of practicing a spiritual life so that you prepare your consciousness. And when we think about this beautiful verse where Krishna says, if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. Don't tell the problems. Don't tell God how big are your problems. Tell problems how big is Krishna. And when you do that, that changes the whole game. My personal experience I want to share. My wife, she was actually, her all lungs were failing, kidneys were failing, and she needed a lung transplant. But it wasn't easy. Her other organs were already failing. So they said, to borrow the time, we want to puncture your right heart. The problem is in your right heart. So we want to puncture the right heart so that the left heart can share the load of the right heart. And I was absolutely not in favor of it. And I spoke to my wife. She said a beautiful line. She's not in this world anymore, so I'm comfortable telling about this. She said, my life is in Krishna's hand. Nobody can do anything. So these doctors preponed the surgery. She agreed. And it was around Thanksgiving time only. The doctors were going for a break. So they preponed it. Everything is ready. The doctor is also there. The machine is also there. So the doctor comes and he tries to use the machine. The machine failed. Machine is not working. Prabhu is there in medical field. That doesn't happen in America. They brought in another machine to do a manual puncture. The doctor, she is sedated, reached to a point to do a puncture in her right heart. Almost there. He decides, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So 3-hour surgery, doctor comes out and I ask him what happened. And he told me the whole story. Something within me told I shouldn't do it. And it didn't happen. And the important part of the story, she got the lungs within a week. How did she get lungs? The doctor said out of 1 million people, one person's lung will match with her. Within a week, first patient or first person whose lungs came were a complete match. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, unfortunately, you will be lost. Same thing. What is it? The file has been put in front of that judge. The case dismissed. You lost the spot. My dear Prabhus and my dear Mataji, similar thing. We are about to lose our spot. We are about to lose this body which we have received, a spot for us. So coming back, the important aspect of this class, see good around the bad. When you see good around the bad, it will help you understand the bigger dimensions of life. A good that comes from bad, you see what is the outcome of that. And the good I must develop to counteract the bad. What is this good we are talking about? Is practicing that spiritual life, understanding I don't want to lose that spot. And that's an important aspect which we are talking about. And with that, I want to share a beautiful line. The peace is not the absence of chaos. Peace is the presence of Krishna in every situation. If you think when you come through obstacle, you will remain there. But when you see it as Krishna's blessing, that will take you over this material world and take you to the spiritual world. So, last question for you. Does Krishna wants us to have comfortable life or uncomfortable life? What do you think?
Comfortable in uncomfortable.
Oh, very good. Okay, beautiful. Now I want to bring into this point. Our option is that I want to be comfortable in my material life. But Krishna has a different plan. Second option is comfortable in spiritual life. So when you practice, I'm not trying to scare you, but this is an important aspect. One or the other day we have to face this real challenge of life when we are near death. I'll just take 2 more minutes. And the third one is to be comfortable in Krishna consciousness. What does Krishna do? He brings the obstacles when we are in comfortable material life to bring us to the platform of being comfortable in spiritual life. However, we want to come to the last platform, which is being comfortable in Krishna consciousness. So what does Krishna do? Any thoughts? You all are with me? My dear Prabhus and my dear Mataji, you are not playing Ludo. You are playing a game of life. What is this game of life? There are only death. Whether you would take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 years, 50 years, 80 years, what is the outcome? Death. However best you live, death. However bad you live, death. But after death is what is the outcome here. So the question is, if everyone has to enter to the same door, then why do I put an effort for it? One may say like that. And that's an important part. Krishna gives you obstacles to come to practice and understand the importance of spiritual life. And when you come to spiritual life, the problem is that, like, I am always a backbencher. So even when I come in spiritual life, no problem, I'll sit behind, no problem. Listen, very wonderful class, Prabhu, very nice. I heard the class. What did you understand? 2:15 class has to end for my lunch. Great outcome. One year passed, 2 year passed, 10 year passed. How many rounds are you chanting? Prabhu, I have to take care of so many responsibilities. I don't have a time for Krishna's name. And that's why this is important. So with that, summarizing the class, the obstacles are not the obstacles. Obstacles are actually our mentality. And don't think obstacles won't come. Obstacles are bad and are insurmountable. So what do we do? When you say obstacle won't come, adjust your expectation that they will come. And when you think the obstacles are bad, you embrace the situation. And finally, aspire for connection. And that is an important exercise we do every Sunday, to do Tulsi Puja, Guru Puja before actually going there. Right? So with that, I would like to end here. Any questions or comments? I'm sorry. Okay, any comments or questions here before we end? If not, very grateful for your kind audience. Humbly request you all, if at all you made 1 centimeter move towards Krishna, please pray for me, because I also don't want to lose that spot which was given. And I want to perfect my life in this lifetime. And I want to not just be sitting here and give a class, but when obstacles come in my life, I want to remember what I said just now. Because Krishna consciousness is not about speaking philosophy. Krishna consciousness is about realizing, internalizing that philosophy. And that is what the purpose of my class is. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna.